The United Nations Security Council voted today to hold an emergency session on Russia's invasion of Ukraine tomorrow. This comes amid growing tensions between Russia and the West. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jackie Bang.
And I'm Tamar Bradley. Thanks for joining us. McGee Hickey is in New York with our top story tonight.
It's the biggest war in Europe since 1945, and that is why the UN met at 3 p.m. Sunday to call for an emergency special session of the General Assembly. In an escalation of East-West tensions over Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered Russian nuclear forces put on high alert Sunday because of what Putin called aggressive statements by leading NATO powers. The U.S. ambassador to the UN was not surprised.
It means that President Putin is continuing to escalate this war in a manner that is totally unacceptable, and we have to continue to condemn his actions in the strongest possible way. We have to ramp up our efforts here at the United Nations and elsewhere to hold him accountable.
Amid these growing tensions, Ukraine announced that a delegation from the country has agreed to meet with Russian officials for talks. This latest development coming as scattered fighting was reported in Kyiv, with battles breaking out also in Ukraine's second-largest city, Kharkiv, and in strategic ports.
This is a behavior which is irresponsible, and of course if you combine this rhetoric with what they are doing on the ground in Ukraine, waging war against the independent sovereign nation, conducting full-fledged invasion of Ukraine, this adds to the seriousness of the situation.
The European Union said it would finance the purchase and delivery of weapons to Ukraine and close EU airspace to Russian aircraft, in essence practically banning Russia from the European skies. But some are saying the sanctions must go further.
We ought to be sanctioning not just Putin, not just Lavrov, not just the oligarchs, but all of their families. This behavior, this aggression against Ukraine is something that the world simply cannot tolerate.
Our thanks to McGee Hickey reporting. The mayor of Kyiv says 9 civilians have been killed in the attacks on the capital city. But Vitaly Klitschko says the residents are holding strong, and he is hopeful they can keep up the fight as Russian troops continue to move closer to the city.
To be honest, we doesn't have 100% control, but because we build this territorial defense in very short period of time, but it's patriotic. These people is patriotic. Everybody feeling not so well. We impressed, but not depressed.
Klitschko also says reports that Russian troops have completely surrounded the city are false. Meanwhile, an 8 p.m. curfew has been implemented. Right now, hundreds of thousands of people are fleeing the war in Ukraine. The United Nations Refugee Agency estimates almost 400,000 have escaped to nations that border Ukraine. That includes Romania, Poland, Hungary, and Moldova. Volunteers from far and wide have shown up to help the refugees as they arrive. At the Romanian border, government workers are handing out basic amenities. People and businesses are pooling resources to provide refugees with free shelter and free food.